Hello, dear fountain pen, ink, and paper lovers out there. Doug here from Albuquerque in New Mexico. PAPERDAG Paper Talk, an episode about my currently inked fountain pens, with the occasional comment to what I have previously used, as well as what I have newly inked. So let's go over to the desk and take a look. I am getting a fountain pen for Christmas. I picked it for myself. My husband told me pick one, and I sure enough made a decision, but the right nib was not on the pen, so it's going to be a little while. I don't know how long. I said either I get it's an Esterbrook SD, but I said I either want the writer's nib, the journaler's nib, or a B, whichever is available faster. And so far I haven't heard back. And the pen tray here, it's kind of funny because this morning I was sitting with my journal at the table, and I was looking at the pens, and I thought, oh, is it 10 pens finally? Am I down to 10 pens? Because I cleaned out the Schaefer Touchdown, and I think there was another pen that I had cleaned. Oh yeah, the Lamy 2000 wasn't in here. But then I realized, wait a minute, but I do want to ink a pen because I'm getting a new SD. So I thought, oh, I want to use the SD that I got, wait a minute, last year or 2 years ago. And also I want to give this guy another shot. It's a Cartier Diavolo. That did not do well with the last ink that I put in there. And also my Lamy 2000 double broad oblique nib that was empty and had been cleaned, and I wanted to re-ink that because I love it so much and it deserves to be inked. And then I just got this pen back. It needed a repair, so I had to ink it too. It was really funny because I thought, wait, I'm almost ready to put 10 pens in the Galen leather sleeve, but then all of a sudden there were 15. It's fun. I still think that Simona, you probably all know her off her channel. Her channel is Simone. And I still think that she should make a sticker that says over inking is underrated. Yeah, that would be great. Okay, let's take a look at the previous experiences, and do let me know if that is even something that you are interested in. Especially wanted to say something about the pens that are cleaned out, like the Waterman Edson with Majestic Maple Syrup, which was a sample from Alexandra. I loved this combination. Loved it. Colorverse Las Vegas, a very light ink. Always love using the lighter inks. Here's the Schaefer Touchdown, empty and cleaned and drying right now. And the other ones you will see in a second with all the new pens that I have inked. As you can see, I sort my pens mainly by size, but when I have the Mont Blanc, which is probably the most precious pen that I own, when I ink it, it's always the first of the lot. And here is the Meisterstück 146 with a medium nib. And I inked this up with an ink that I had probably put in 3 years ago, and I believe I got this one from Ramona when she so generously shared her ink vent. So this model was created for the 75th anniversary, but I know now that they have had their 100th anniversary, which is kind of cool, kind of crazy and cool. Probably nice for a company to be able to say that. They've been around for 100 years. So this was party time. I do not know what day that came from. Didn't take note, not important. I always forget to show you, give you a nice view of the nib. This one's specifically nice because it's a two-tone gold nib. No. Esterbrook SD Gold Rush, Journaler's Medium. I'm not too much a fan of the pens that have the silver trim. So with the Esterbrooks, I love that they're gold. I mean, I should say if I have the choice. Okay, I gotta tell you this. I put in a shimmer ink into this pen to see if it tolerates shimmer. And right now I am annoyed, mildly. Not happy that it struggles, but I just filled it, so I really don't know. But I can already tell I will unink this because this is no fun, because this is a great writer, but it does not like this Venta Solitary Teal. So I'm just gonna save the spot and put this ink back into the sample vial and put the ink into a TWSBI Eco. Here's another pen that I really love. Oh my gosh, I just realized I didn't bring the Opus 88 Orange Jazz. Hold on a second. Now this is the complete range of pens that I have inked, and we continue with actually the Opus 88 Orange Jazz, which is the Opus 88 Jazz, which is next in the lineup. Okay. This is Fountain Feeder. Octopus. Midsummer. A sample from Kirsten. And I forgot to write Ramona. So both Opus 88 pens need to be opened in the back here to have airflow for prolonged writing, to get a nice flow. Usually I don't need to do that, only when I do well, with this one I do need to do it. And you can see there was a buildup of a vacuum because it sucked in air. I just shook out the pen because sometimes it struggles a little bit and has a hard start, but usually only in the beginning. This is also a broad nib. And this ink is also a sample from Kirsten. And it's called Sheetwitter. Okay. Yeah, if I have my choice, then I like the golden trim, but I mean, this pen, the blue and the silver is just perfect, I gotta say. But I think with the Pelikan, the M200s, for example, that's where I usually go for the pens that have the gold trim. Here is my Schneider student pen with I always call it a medium nib. Kind of like one of those standard nibs. This pen is just really has blown me away, because this is a very, very heavy on the shimmer, this ink, and it really has no problem dealing with it. This is Vinta La Cambini, and it is a sample from Lorelei. I'm gonna giving you a closer view, because I'm actually with Lorelei. A lot of times I watch the videos on the iPad, and I prefer to watch without my glasses. And if the shot is filmed from far away, I just can't see. This pen is a Cartier Diabolo. The nib is an 18K, but small size, which I actually love. Love small nibs. I had another ink in this pen, and it just wouldn't write. And then I did a brass sheet between in the nib here, and cleaned that out, and took a very nice neutral flowing ink, and hopefully, because I only just filled it, hopefully it is now gonna do fine. This is a medium, and it is Pilot Iroshizuku. Kuyake. Wrong. Kuyaku. Kuyaku. Sorry. And the pen has this beautiful, I don't even know if that's a real stone up here, but it sure looks gorgeous. Yeah. It's a little bit of a heavier pen, and I like that. I was going to put in another ink, another light colored ink, but then I decided against it because my eye, I have 2 drawers full with ink bottles, well, and a little bit more. They spilled out a little, but when I opened the first drawer, it Sailor Ink Studio 162 caught my eye, and I thought, I haven't used that in ages, so that's what I put in, and I wonder if it is that dark or if the pen still had a little bit of pink in it. Don't know. Sometimes, you know, when you can be that there's a little bit of a leftover in the pen from the last ink, but to be honest, I don't care. Sailor Ink Studio 162. I remember this ink lighter. I think that's what put me off a little bit, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see once I actually really use it, because like I said, this is one of those that I only just now filled. My beloved Lamy 2000 with the double broad oblique nib. And here is my Aurora Ypsilon with a medium nib, and I call it Aurora Ypsilon Lisbon because my daughter got it for me at a flea market in Portugal. We were FaceTiming. It was fun. Aurora Ypsilon, medium nib. And the ink is a combination of a mystery ink from Desiree with shimmer and a sample that I have purchased at some point, which is Diamine Noel. And the mystery ink was a little more pinkish. Let me see where it is. And so I thought, oh, why not just add a little bit of Noel to get it more Christmassy. Yeah. And this is a 14K nib. And now another one of my favorites, Kavico Supra Brass, with this ink that I really, really love. was a sample from Lorelei. It's a double broad nib, and this ink was Teranishi Emotional Olive. Such a great color. I love this. Fairly large nib. Doesn't bother me at all in this one. Sometimes large nibs, overly large nibs, are too large for me. Not here. This pen, there's nothing wrong about this pen. It's just so perfect. Okay. And now, getting them mixed up here. This is a pen that I just had repaired by my friend Joel. And I find it, yet again, so impressive and amazing how he has fixed this pen. Long time ago, I have used this, but I was always like so appalled because it has had a crack here. And yes, I can still see the crack because I know where it was, but otherwise it's just become invisible by his work. And before it showed the glue, yes, I had done that. Don't even ask. But now it's so awesome. It's a Geha piston filler with a semi-hooded nib. Really kind of cool guy here. Another one of those that I have just filled. Yeah, I got the pen back yesterday and I was so excited, and then I thought, oh well, I'm gonna choose a new ink tomorrow, and what was supposed to be one pen inked up turned into like 4 or so. So I do not know what model this is, but I'm going to call it a Geha piston filler. Should say somehow semi-hooded, but whatever. Let's call it a medium nib, and the ink is Colorverse Kings Road. I do have one of these little bottles from them, which I really don't like. They're really too small for my taste, and hard to get in as soon as you have a fatter pen. And I just wish they all made, I wish they made their ink bottles all like Sailor, like nice and square. I wanted to mark all my ink bottles with the hearts, but as usual, I forgot. Now here is a Pelikan Silvexa 2021. I love these pens. I love all Pelikan Silvexas. There's some that have more interesting nibs than this one, probably the piston fillers, and this one is very much a nib like the school pens, the boring school pens have, the Pelikan ones, but it's a 14K nib, yeah. And wait a minute, is that a fine nib? Oh, I can't tell. I know one of the two Pelicans that I have inked has a fine nib, which kind of surprised me. But I can't see that just with readers. I need my loop, but I didn't bring it upstairs. So I have quite a bit of Silvexa fountain pens, and I think they are amazing writers. Pelikan, Silvexa, let's see. Oh, I did this. This one I classified as an M, and the ink is Ferris Wheel Press Misguided Mistletoe. I think I got that for Christmas last year. Great writer. No problems with the shimmer. And now here we have another. I think it is also a Silvexa, even though it does not say. It says rolled gold on here and made in Germany, I think. But I would assume it's a Silvexa also. And this is one of those that have the little more visually interesting nibs. This is one of last year's Inkvent inks. And I don't know what happened. I thought there was a lavender ink this year. I have no idea where I got that idea from. But I don't think there is one, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, Pelikan. Let's call this also a Silvexa. Rolled gold. And I usually also kind of make a mark that because it has the globe, which I believe is probably a company logo. Rolled gold globe. And this ink is Diamine. Wait, no capitals. No capitals. Diamine Inkvent 2023 Lavender Frost. Really pretty. Should I call this a bottle? Yes, I should. I mean, it's not a sample from an Inkvent, but the whole bottle. Yeah, pretty, pretty pen. I feel like I saw somewhere that this is a fine nib. Maybe it was just, maybe it's just finer than this one. I don't know. All right, and now we have this baby. It has a metal body. It looks like plastic, but it's metal and it's really cool. It's a Pelicano from the 70s, obviously. And, oh, this one has a fine. That's where I saw the mark on one of the Pelicans. I love the match of this ink with the pen body. What do you think? Okay, this is a Pelicano. It's funny because I remember wanting to use this a while ago, and it just would not write. And this time around, I thought, okay, let's do this again. I put a converter in. So I suckered the ink through from the nib into the converter, and that saturated the feed, made it write immediately. And I love the pen. Yeah, such a good writer. And that's a Pelikan Fine, which is definitely not a fine. And the ink is Pilot Iroshizuku. Fuyu Gake. The Pelicans just have my heart, and so I had to ink the M200 golden barrel with another diamine ink vent ink from last year. It has a broad nib, and it is the golden barrel model, and it is diamine ink vent 2023, number 1, Fortune's Gold. I immediately loved this ink. It's so great. It's such a beautiful golden hue with greenish undertones. Perfect in this pen. And now on to the last two. This is Sailor Pro Gear Slim Grateful Crane. I put in a shimmer ink just because I really was curious to see how it handles it. And also I was curious, like, how does the shimmer come across in a finer line? Because of course this one has a fine medium nib. And the model, I believe, is called Grateful Crane. And this ink is Ferris Wheel Press April Showers. A sample from my pen pal Alexandra. Love this grayish blue. And the pen, actually it had some problems after I hadn't used it in 2 weeks or so, which I believe were probably caused by the shimmer. But once it's going, it's fine, no problems. And last but certainly not least, for an ironic comparison, I have a Jinhao 82. And at least one person out there should be able to guess which ink color screamed to be in here. Check occasionally to make sure I'm still on screen. Jinhao 82, and this is a medium nib. And you can tell that the feedback is definitely, I mean, the Pro Gear Slim is known to have feedback, but this definitely has more feedback. Still a great writer, no problems. And this is Fountain Feder. Octopus. Grünkohl. Sample from Kirsten. Thank you again to everybody who has shared their inks with me so generously over time. Yeah. And yeah, that's such a good green. And now I'm going to go back to the beginning of this page. I wanted to take a look at this guy again. This is the Because I Skipped It. I will unink this pen. Do I? I don't know. Now it's writing fine. Let's see. Esterbrook SD Gold Rush. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Why did it not write before? So this is the Journaler's Medium. That's so strange. Don't know. So, okay, whatever. It is what it is. Now it's writing, so I'm not going to unink it. So this is Vinta Solitary Teal. From another pen pal of mine, from Sherry. Yeah. Can't believe it. Okay. We'll see. I will tell you next time if it continuously wrote well. I did prime the feed pretty heavily, so I bet that helped. This has, by the way, a mechanism where you have to push body and cap together a little bit to get a, I think it's to get a better seal. Okay. All right, you guys. That's it from me today. That was long enough. Bye.